everyone, welcome to Tuesdays with Tabitha. Today's topic is crystal clear communication, where we talk about how being a likable boss doesn't mean that you do everyone's work yourself. My name is Tabitha Liebert, and I'm a conflict management strategist. I teach professionals to manage conflict in their relationships, workflows, and systems with ease, so they can bridge the gap between issues and outcomes and create a peaceful and profitable workplace. Now, recently we've been discussing quiet quitting and quiet firing. We've been discussing it, and sometimes it feels like the whole world has been talking about it. The philosophy of quiet quitting is not that employees just leave a job. Instead, employees stay there, but they do exactly what the job requires, no more and no less. And we've noted that quiet quitting is similar to work to rule, which is a job action where employees do the same thing as quiet quitting, no more than the minimum standard of work required by their employment contract. Now, I'm sure you have seen situations like this, where during the interview, the role and the expectations are clear, they're made clear to everyone. And then the employee starts and they have a great first day at work, a great first week at work, where they're learning how the job relates to others around them. And then you as the manager share the culture and the vibe is great. The employee starts working and they are performing in their role. And then you flash forward to 6 months where you begin to sense a bit of confusion. You see that deadlines are not being met and you're not sure why. Everyone is in that zone of politeness where when you ask, they say all is well, but you realize that they're not really talking to each other. Instead, everyone is referring to you and checking in with you for information and for directions. Now, the one thing that you know is that no work means no results, and no results often means no revenue. And so you may instinctively lean in and start to help the team to communicate, help them by giving directions, helping by connecting team members with each other. And what happens is that you then step out of your role and you end up doing their work instead of yours. My friend, this is what organizational conflict looks like. Organizational conflict is conflict stemming either from workplace roles or workplace relationships. Now, you might think that it's better not to intervene verbally in a situation like that because you feel that it is better for the team to build workplace relationships with each other. Or you might want to see how they themselves will solve their way around the problem so that you can look at their problem-solving skills. Also, you might be a little concerned that if you intervene, you will not be liked because of the manner that you speak with them, because we're human and we all have a desire to be genuinely liked by the people we manage. And so you might be concerned that intervening may, in some ways, cause the team to feel differently about you. Well, avoiding hard discussions in order to preserve relationships is just going to make you end up shouldering the responsibility for work that you should be delegating to your team. And my friend, in a situation like that, the best approach to this problem is to find the root cause of organizational conflict and to resolve or manage it. Sometimes we prefer being a leader who is more loved than feared. But understand that a reasonable leader who uses understanding and respect when communicating with their team doesn't really want to hear fearsome things about you through the office grapevine after you're done communicating. And that in itself many times is a reason that managers don't step forward and say things that need to be said or confront team members who need to be confronted. But you can do that. You can do that in a way that your communication in conflict is crystal clear. And crystal clear in a way that you're not worried that the employees are going to dislike you. Well, what does that look like? The best way to communicate with employees effectively in conflict is to work on your conflict resolution skills. Knowing and understanding how to resolve or manage workplace conflict will help you serve your employees' needs, even as you serve the needs of your company or your organization. So how can you do this in a way that is gonna make you a likable boss? The first tip I have for you is to validate the people involved in the conflict, because we all feel the same types of emotions. We feel fear, we feel anger, we feel joy, we feel anxiety. We also all have the same basic needs. We want to be validated, we want to be recognized in our role, we want autonomy. And so if you recognize that between any disagreement that's happening in the workplace are two people who really need each respect and communication and understanding, then it will be hard for your employees to say, my boss doesn't value me, when you communicate with them. Okay, so the second tip is to consider your own attitude in the conflict. If you're in disagreement with someone else, ask yourself what you want from the interaction. Do you want to see the other people punished? Or do you want to win and be right? Or do you just want the conflict resolved and want the best for everyone? And if that is the case, if you want the conflict resolved in a way that is best for everyone, do your best to take a neutral approach in the conflict. So you're going to put your own attitude in neutral after you validated the employee or employees and you are ready to approach the way you speak. And the third tip for you is to suspend your own viewpoint when you're considering what is happening. I encourage you to remember that your point of view isn't always necessary. As precious and as valid as it is to you, it might not be necessary. In fact, if you share your point of view too early in the discussion, it can dim your view of someone else's situation. And it can make the team lean towards your view instead of being free to share their own view of what's happening. So remember that suspending your views is not the same as dropping them or changing them. You're not changing your mind. You're just suspending your viewpoint in that moment while you listen to everyone else's, and your viewpoint will still be there when you need it to put together everything that you have heard and to make a decision. So I hope that these 3 steps encourage you on the journey towards becoming a more effective boss. And the side effects of that are both likability and respect. If you would like to implement anything that we discussed today, or if you're implementing it but need more strategies, click on the link below and join our upcoming mastermind alongside other CEOs and executives in senior leadership positions who are going to be sharing thoughts and insights on being a likable boss. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you on Tuesdays with Tabitha next week. Take care. Bye now.